I generally don't like living in a world where being what a man is a horrible thing, and no matter what a woman is, it's a wonderful thing.
Does that sound familiar, you guys? Remember, Patrice O'Neal passed in 2011. Isn't that what we see in today's modern society? Toxic masculinity. Patrice O'Neal was ahead of his time. He called it.
So I'm not with nobody, cause I don't wanna hurt nobody. Did it over text, didn't call me. Still got love for your mommy. I know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody.
I generally don't like what women are. I generally don't like living in a world where being what a man is a horrible thing, and no matter what a woman is, it's a wonderful thing. This is what they're doing. They are the society. They're bringing men down, and women are up. But they don't understand. Women are getting their cue from men. Meaning, so if you're a woman and you're going, I want to be the most successful, whatever I want to be, you're looking at the most successful man. You're competing mentally with men. They hate being women, man. I'm telling you.
But
Mark.
wait, let me ask you. So let me just understand something. So you're saying that women only have the model of success and power that men have established. So when they try to operate within that, they're acting like men.
Yes.
Which means that they are denying themselves their queenness and will never be happy.
Thank you.
Does that sound familiar, you guys? Remember, Patrice O'Neal passed in 2011. Isn't that what we see in today's modern society? Women are taking their cues from men. Toxic masculinity, all that stuff. Patrice O'Neal was ahead of his time. He called it. There's a lot of guys in these spaces that's talking about these things, but Patrice O'Neal was one of the first to actually bring it to the forefront. And he knew that his message was hindering his acting career, his comedy career, all that stuff, but he didn't care. And that was the best thing about Patrice O'Neal. He didn't care what anybody thought. He was going to speak his mind, and he was going to make his money the way he made his money, and he was going to move forward. And you know who reminds me of that in present day? Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb, he even said that, man, they tried to cancel me a couple times, but you can't cancel me.
Y'all attempts to cancel me will fail. Nigga, I'm already canceled.
Right.
He been in that lane, man.
What the fuck is you gonna take from me? Somebody said in the comment, now this has got to be it for him. If he could say that, it's got to be over for him.
You gotta be kidding me. It's not like
it's over for me.
He created his own space.
Man, these motherfuckers don't understand. Somebody said Corey Patrice O'Neal tonight. Patrice was my little brother, nigga. I didn't teach Patrice nothing, but trust me, Patrice watched me and realized ain't no need in holding back. Ain't no need in holding back. Patrice was always a nigga with knowledge and all that shit, but when he watched Corey Holcomb, that motherfucker said, I wish I would hold back.
Why don't women think in terms of the king and queen system? It's a beautiful system. The system is, if I'm a man and I see a bum woman, a woman has nothing, if I marry her, she's now the highest level she can be. She's the queen. Mm-hmm. You can't get higher than the queen.
Right.
It's a great position.
Right.
It's the baddest in the land, but the queen is the king's bitch. But here's the reverse. And this is why these dominant women who can't find happiness is because the queen in the system, if it's just the queen, right, and the Queen of England is the queen because her father didn't have any sons, so he didn't have a king to take her, so she had his heir was a woman. So now she's the queen with no king. When she gets married, that guy is not the king. He's the queen's husband who doesn't get elevated to his highest position.
Right.
A man at his highest position helps a woman be at her highest position.
So I put this tweet in there. It says, when husband becomes successful, let us buy bigger house, better school for kids, upgrade from hatchback to sedan, have an additional household help, and so on. When wife becomes successful, why do I need this man called husband? That's basically what Patrice O'Neal was explaining in regards to the king and queen system. And you guys see this playing out in real time with the Keke Palmer, Darius situation, Darius Jackson situation, right? Everybody online is saying that she makes so much money and he makes so much less than her. Even though the guy is damn near a millionaire, she makes $7.5 million a year, approximately, are her net worth. And so people are saying this is somewhat of a king and queen system. If she's leading the relationship, which is what everybody thinks, that he can't get elevated to his highest position. He has no leverage because, for one, he never established boundaries from what I see. And also, you add in the fact that she's feeling herself because she makes more money than him. I mean, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. And that's why I tell guys, you have to be in the power position in regards to these relationships, because today, in today's society, there's not a lot of women who will sit there and accept you if they make a significant amount more money than you. And I know it sounds bad, but I'm just being perfectly honest with you guys. There's not a lot of women that's going to sit there and be like, I make $100,000 a year and you make $50,000 a year. Let's make this work. Because women have a crossroads. Because once you start to get older and you're a $100,000 woman and you meet this guy who you like, he only makes $50,000 a year. You have to make a decision. Is love more important? Is having a companion for the rest of my life more important? Or is the money figure more important? And I'm going to just go ahead and wait until I find a guy who is at or above my income level, which is hypergamy. I used to watch Kevin Samuel shows, and there used to be these older women on there, and they say, hey, I make $150,000 a year. I want my husband to make at or above that number. But Kevin Samuel say, hey, you're going to have a hard time finding that. Because if you have those standards, there's not too many men that's willing to accept, a 40-year-old woman with kids and overweight or whatever, right? And he would say, you are going, buy a dog, die alone.
And if you got a $300,000 friend and the average black man is earning $42,000 with no kids, I can't make more black men be up there with your friend. And if she wants a man who's up there with her, he's going to want what he wants regardless as to what she earns. And if she does not look like what he wants or is going to have the mentality of the assets, just like she's not going to settle, he isn't either. And that's what hasn't been told to women. The men that they want are not going to settle for them.
And so what your recommendation would be, like, for my girlfriends in that category would be
buy a dog, die alone.
But I would always think, I was like, well, women, they put those stipulations on their own lives, because I'm pretty sure you could find a guy. He may not make as much as you, but you can find love. You can find a companion to spend the rest of your life with. But women put those parameters and those preferences and requirements on their marriage market. And then you complain that you don't find it. But Kevin Samuels was trying to tell you, it may be tough for you in your situation to find a guy like that. But that's not saying that you can't find a guy who is willing to love you, who is willing to protect, who is willing to provide what he has for you. But that ego, when women start making that money, it's tough. I've done live streams on that. It is very tough to tell an educated, high-earning woman to date down, so to speak, what they call it, a man who makes less than them. So that's why I think that love isn't the primary thing when these women are looking for relationships. They're looking for a dollar figure. And correct me if I'm wrong. Ladies, y'all in the chat, what do y'all see on social media? Every conversation on Kendra G's show, $100,000.
How much money the man got to make?
Over 100,000.
Over 100K?
Yeah. Is that too much to ask for? Shit, I make good money, so he got to make good money, so together we will make great money.
Minimum amount of money you will accept?
Between like 90 and 100,000, I think is like a good base.
Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
Yes. So I'm pretty well off. So I want someone that is able to either meet me halfway or be able to enjoy the finer things in life with me.
Is there a minimum number?
At least $250,000.
damn.
So he has to make at least 250,000.
Yes.
And he has to be doing better than me. That's for sure.
He has to do better than you?
He has to. I didn't settle before and it didn't get me anywhere. So now I know my worth. I know what I want. And that's that. I'm not settling.
All right, so better than you means financially better than you?
Financially. He has to be financially secure.
So what's the amount he has to make?
He would need to make over 100,000 a year or more.
Okay, so nothing less than 100,000 a year.
He will really have to touch my heart.
He has to at least, make decent money.
Okay,
at least. I'll tell you, at least 100.
At least 100. At least.
100. At least. Yeah.
Okay, at least 100. Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
Yes. $100,000 is not a lot these days, as we all know.
A lot of women say that on my show. That's not $100,000 isn't a lot of money. What else are your desires?
Yes. So similar moral belief, someone coming from a Christian or Catholic background and who makes around $100,000 or up.
Okay. Are those mandatory?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So he has to have a Christian background and he has to make at least 100K.
Yes.
So when people say, what about love? Let's talk about a man's character. That has nothing to do with what these women are looking for in today's society. It's money first. And then the funny thing with our women, black women, is that looks play a huge part. And that comes before money. So if a man don't look the part, no matter if he's a Pookie, no matter if he's a Ray Ray, hood dude, scammer, looks come first. Tony's take on. He said that money could change the next year. You could try telling these women that. We know that, brother, but they ain't trying to hear all that. Man, the deacon, not even 50K per year. Sometimes he's making 81K and they still don't want it. Yeah, like I said, women have to make the decision. What's more important, love or money? Centennial G, they go for resources all the time. And yeah, and honestly, you can't blame men for trying to get into a power position. You want to gain leverage. So that's why when people like, man, why men always leading with money and things of that nature? Why do you think they lead with money? Because they hear what women saying. And then there's people always trying to say, well, what about a man's character? I didn't like Kevin Samuel's 6 high value traits because he didn't mention anything about character, integrity.
So let's get into this whole high value man thing. Number one, in order to be a high value man, it starts with money. You can't be high value and homeless, so you have to make a certain amount of money, and the line is roughly at $10,000 a month adjusted for Atlanta dollars. If you live in San Francisco, LA, New York City, where the cost of living is higher than 100%, you need to adjust it. Number two, that money needs to be made over a length of time, i.e. performance, and that's roughly about 5 years. And about the 3-year mark, you're kind of starting to scratch the surface. Number three is group acceptance. Like it or not, guys, high value man is like a fraternity. And high value men, group acceptance is supremely important. Why is group acceptance so important? Because the next part, a network. You have to have a network of other high value men and others. We got to have the visibility. Guys, your income and your position has to be LinkedIn level. The high value man is useful to others and the group.
Do y'all see what's going on in today's modern dating market? People stupid. Like go ahead and make sure you click that link, get you some Teej Hanley, and support the Medium Man YouTube channel, and also support Teej Hanley.